Okay. A pile of movies. And go ahead. Get started. Since this is going to be a bot afterwards. Hi, I'm Raven. And this is Movie Mirrors. And this is my Saturday movie Clubhouse, where today we are celebrating the birthday of Dustin Hoffman. Yay! This guy. And we will be talking about the movies of 1982. Hey, Jacob, how you doing? All right. First, we got to give a shout out to myself. The reason we're doing the stream, Dustin Hoffman, talking about him all week. Not only do I have this one, this is my new one. I'm so proud of it. And then we have this one, Rain Man. This he won an Academy Award for. So very happy 89th birthday to Dustin Hoffman. Wow. Maybe we should have a little chat about who Dustin is. Because, wow, 89. Is The Graduate 67? I want to say The Graduate is 67. And that's the first time we really see him, right? So that's a long time ago. That's a huge career span. That's amazing. I love that for him. We come along and we do Little Big Man. That's a fun movie. I believe at one point it held the Guinness Book World Record for longest lifespan ever in a movie. So he plays a character named Jack Crab. Is that right? Little Big Man, Jack Crab. And he goes from 17 years old to 121. Don't ask me how I know that. I read it somewhere. It's Guinness Book of World Records. And I was like, wow, that's kind of neat. So happy birthday, Dustin. We're glad you're still here, buddy. Lots of movies to watch. We got Hook. Got Kramer versus Kramer. If you like that 70s drama, you got All the President's Men, Marathon Man, Straw Dogs. A lot of stuff in there. Great actor. Very transformative. Dustin, yay. Happy birthday, buddy. They say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too, yeah. Happy birthday, Dustin. All right. And because we have been Tootsie all week long, Tootsie, they'll be here. Dustin, 1982. 82. So I thought I would bring out all my 82s and we would talk a little bit about 1982 and why 1982 seems to be such a cultural linchpin for people, whether it's music, movies, television. Yeah, most pop culture things, 1982 is fairly significant. So the year when Hollywood kind of split into futures. We saw the future in different ways. First, we saw it as almost like a friendly alien ET type future, or maybe we were questioning might look like artificial humanity, AI, in Blade Runner. We had our weird digital world, kind of like a metaverse in Tron. We had the terrifying unknown coming from outer space in The Thing. These are all movies in 1982. 1982 was a kick-butt year. Then we go to the fantasy worlds of we had The Dark Crystal, We had the Beastmaster. We had Conan. Here's my Beastmaster. My Conan. My Dark Crystal. There really were a lot of rockin' movies in 1982. I mean, like, a lot. So the little notes that I pulled from IMDb says that E.T. was released on June 11th, 1982. It's one of the biggest movies in all of history. Yeah, I knew that he had come off of Raiders of the Lost Ark because this is like a strange year. Oh, hi, everybody. How you doing? We're talking about 1982 today. I see Leah Erendria. I see J-Dub. Hope you're all doing good out there. Talking about 1982. You know, the year that gave us Victor Victoria. And The Last Unicorn, which is also an interesting movie. I don't know. I think we get a couple of different versions of Alien movies. I'm looking at my notes here. Looking and I'm seeing, you know, E.T. was the friendly alien, and then we had John Carpenter's The Thing. And that alien obviously wasn't very friendly. Hello, Patricia. Oh, I'm really funny. Oh, and nice. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. I'm just here to talk about movies. Like I said, it's Dustin Hoffman's 89th birthday today. So, you know, the guy who did Rain Man and Hook and Tootsie, and he was Ben Stiller's dad in The Fockers. That guy, he's 89 today. So I was celebrating his birthday and talking about the movies of 1982. So anybody who wants to join in, yeah, 82 is a really great year for movies. And part of this spawned because I had a documentary, was like on Tubi, and it's on YouTube Movies, and it's called 1982, and it's something about like the best geek year ever. And there's just a lot of stuff. A lot of video games came out that year. A lot of musical albums. Oh, and Annie. You mean this Annie? Yeah, this Annie. I'm pretty sure this was the first movie somebody took me to see in the movie theater. My mom, maybe? I just remember seeing it in the movie theater. I was like 4. But I remember this movie in the movie theater. I love Annie. I love Annie. Yeah, there were a couple of musicals. Victor, Victoria, and Annie were great musicals that came out. Great sci-fi came out that year. And I don't know, between E.T. and Blade Runner, I don't know if I'd rather meet a replicant or an alien. Definitely don't want to meet the alien in John Carpenter's The Thing. Just seems to explode that year, a lot of creativity. This was one of my favorites when I was a kid. The Dark Crystal. And since I'm a puppet, it's pretty important. Okay, bye. See you guys later. Anybody else who comes in, we're just talking about 1982. This year also gives us like what will become cult classics. Like Blade Runner doesn't necessarily hit big at the box office, but it becomes a cult classic later. Beastmaster doesn't hit big at the box office, but it becomes a cult classic later. I think Beastmaster is like the most run movie on any cable network. And like everybody saw it in the 80s and 90s. What else do I got here? Oh, yeah, one of the first major movies to heavily use a computer and use computer-generated imagery was Tron. Tron's actually terrifying. If I watched it back right now, I'd probably be terrified, considering how far we've come. Why people think they need to live in some kind of computer verse. Then we have the horror explosion with not only John Carpenter's The Thing, but with Poltergeist. And I believe the story behind that movie is that Steven Spielberg wanted to direct it, but he was doing another Indiana Jones and something else. Wasn't he doing something else at the time? Oh, yeah, he was doing E.T. at the time, the same time Poltergeist was being filmed. And they wouldn't let him have 3 movies. So he could only have 2 movies. And so Poltergeist is Tobe Hooper's movie. He did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. But from interviews with cast and crew, everybody says that Steven Spielberg was there every day on the set of Poltergeist and that it was Steven's movie. I believe him. I believe him. I don't know. I think probably Ghost scared me more as a kid than Aliens. But those weren't actually my favorite movies when I was a kid. Mine were always the fantasy movies. Like, I love The Beastmaster. And I love Conan. Who doesn't love Arnold? Well, I guess there's some people out there probably don't love Arnold. I love Arnold. Arnold. California. Love him. The governor. Still love him. Don't care how old he gets. And he's a childhood hero. Can't really get around that. Childhood hero. It's like telling somebody John Wayne sucks. Yeah, he did. But somebody out there actually cares, so. Uh-oh, did I bring in everything? I hope I did. Oh, no. I don't think I brought everything in. I'll have to be right back. Oh, wait, there it is. I don't have to go anywhere. Yay! Okay, cool. All right, kind of weird when you're trying to film because you're streaming. Woohoo! All right. Yeah, there was good stuff for kids in 1982. Last Unicorn was not for kids. I don't know. Secret of Nim might not be for kids. Actually, you know what? Was there any good stuff for kids? I'm looking at my list. Oh, maybe The Dark Crystal. Although, I don't know what was up with a lot of these fantasy movies made for kids where, like, people and things, like, die at the end of the movie. I don't know what people were thinking. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, The Last Unicorn was not made for children. It was actually made for adults and was supposed to be marketed to adults. But if you had boomer parents, like I did, your boomer parents probably dropped you off at the theater and let you watch it. Or they rented it from the video store and they were like, look, it's a cartoon. It must be for kids. Trauma. Trauma. But then again, there's a lot of movies from the 80s like that traumatized kids. You know, like The Never-Ending Story, The Secret of Nim, The Land Before Time, An American Tale. Yeah, all the Don Bluth stuff, basically. Traumatized children in the 80s. We all cried when Fievel lost his family. And when Littlefoot, when his mom died. All of us kids cried. You can deny it all you want, but you did. And this one, when she went back to being a unicorn, but she had to take regret with her. She had to regret. And it was sad. And she couldn't be with the guy who was totally in love with her. Oh, it was sad. It was sad. No, I'm not spoiling the ending. If you haven't seen this movie, too bad for you. Might as well talk about it as a trauma picture. If you watched it, you were probably traumatized by it. So definitely love me some Sword and Sandal. Still think that fantasy and Sword and Sandal movies are like top of the top in the 80s. I know they try to remake them nowadays, but there isn't anything too much greater than Conan. Conan's pretty cool. Although, I would say if I had to choose between the bad guys and say like Conan bad guy or Beastmaster bad guy, I'd probably pick Beastmaster bad guy. Because Beastmaster I think is actually scarier than Thulsa Doom. But, you know, that's me. That's my opinion. I didn't say Beastmaster was a better movie. I didn't say that Dar was a better character than Conan. I think they both have different attributes. Dar is much more sensitive. He's connected to animals. Whereas Conan don't cry. So they're very different. But if I was to match them up by a bad guy, I like Mayax as a bad guy. I think he's just gross. Thulsa Doom is a little more, I don't know, I want to say hoity-toity. A little snooty. Stuck up. Whereas Max, he's like gross. And both of those villains come out the same year. And these are my movies from 1982. You got a favorite from 1982? Drop it in the chat. Don't know about 1982? There is a cool documentary, The Geek Year. It's like 1982. It's right here on YouTube for free. Watch it. Very informative. My favorite movie from 1982, it's hard for me to pick favorites of anything, but because when I was a little kid, my parents dropped me in front of the television, and it was sort of my babysitter. It's The Beastmaster. Dar was my friend. I was really a little kid, and I enjoyed watching him with the L ferrets and the eagle and the tiger. So I was a little tiny kid. Hey Jason, how you doing? Thanks for asking, Leah. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick though. I do love Conan. I mean, the speech at the end. Grom, I have never prayed to you. I have no tongue for it. Such a great speech. Such a great movie. Really well put together. One of the best scores of any movie of that year. I would say way better than the Beastmaster. Although Beastmaster has a fantastical score, Conan has a huge score that just makes the movie happen. And this one, like, you know, music, is really important. I believe they said that so these songs and albums were popular and television shows get really popular. This is the year Family Ties becomes a thing. And we all know what will happen with Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox will become a star. So 1982 is a big year. Yes. J-Dub, you want to know what's really funny in 1982? 1982 neither has a Star Wars franchise or an Indiana Jones franchise. It is the year in between. So 1982 has all these kick butt movies, but at the same time has no Star Wars movie and no Indiana Jones movie. And I actually find that interesting because we got an indie movie of E.T. That's the big one. And on this day, in 1982, E.T. was the biggest movie at the box office, which makes sense. So, and even though we've been discussing this guy all week, his movie barely makes it in. This movie gets released on December 17th. This is a Christmas movie. Tootsie's a Christmas movie. E.T. was the summer blockbuster. So they didn't really need indie, and they didn't need Star Wars. Besides, kids were waiting around. They were getting dressed as them for Halloween. They were getting all their posters together and their toys. Kids were waiting. Can you imagine waiting 3 years for a franchise to drop the movie you want to watch with nothing in between? Oh, J-Dub, yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of stuff. The Stranger Things, you want to know something? Yeah, no, I don't know if I should say the thing about the Stranger Things. I should be nice. I should be a nice puppet today. Shouldn't say anything. Mom said don't say anything. Don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Oh my god, the ending sucked. I'm sorry. I didn't know myself. I don't know what to say. I'm just like that. I just really didn't like it. Absolutely. All right. I love season 3. That nostalgic. But oh my god, that ending. You know that there's another author who ended up being penned as one of the worst endings to any book or TV show or movie ever. Hello. If AI really wrote the script, no wonder it ended that way. No, it didn't ruin it because garbage. That's why I like my old movies. That's why I like things like Blade Runner. Blade Runner has a great ending. I won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. Go watch it. It's one of the few that's available right now on YouTube movies. Commercials actually aren't bad on YouTube movies. Commercial comes on, usually it lasts between 45 seconds and a minute, and then it goes right back to the movie. Director's cut. Blade. Great movie. Skip Stranger Things. Go to YouTube free movies. It was a sad ending. Yeah, it was more than a sad ending. I don't like it when things do that. Jack your audience all around and make you think that you're getting something that you're not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old school and I like my movies straightforward. Although I don't think it's a bad show, I just don't like the ending. And I don't think the kids are bad actors. I think they're all really great. I think they're super lucky to have gotten to do what they did, and they're all really talented and wonderful kids. But I think we can admit when something's not tasty. Bleh, and we spit it out. Oh, thank you, and it's for somebody else too. Definitely is that you like and I don't. I don't. It's never bothered me. I definitely like a lot of stuff. Oh, that's not a good movie. I'd be like, you're right. Movie that you like to watch, that people consider not very good. You know what? Watch them anyway. I like laugh. So I watch a lot of comedies like The Jerk, Old Animal House, the National Animal House. That's me. The old vacation movies. Those are funny to me. I just watched Scrooged with Bill Murray, 1988, available on YouTube Movies for free. I just watched that one. That was a fun movie. Very good. Let me see what else I have in my notes. Yeah, we get a lot of Oscar nominations from a lot of strange movies. So Dustin Hoffman is an Oscar nomination for Tootsie. He doesn't win for this, but he gets the Oscar nomination. And then Steve, Julie Andrews, gets an Oscar nomination for Victoria, which she's amazing in. She's amazing. I don't care what anybody says about this. It's entertaining. I love a good musical. It's got great songs in it. She's beautiful. James Garner is funny. Scrooged is really good. That's my favorite Bill Murray movie. It's between that and What About Bob? I don't know why. I do like Ghostbusters. Huge year. Rambo movie. Got Rocky 3. Have Mad Max 2, aka The Road Warrior. We also see The Man from Snowy River. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. We see Eddie Murphy appear for the first time in 48 hours. They make Gandhi. We've got Sophie's Choice, An Officer and a Gentleman. All of these will win Academy Awards. We have The Secret of Nim. Ooh, another sad kids movie. Was it for kids? I don't know. We also see the first Creep Show. And Pink Floyd actually puts Wall, which I believe, but it became one of television's greatest sitcoms. It was a place where everybody knows. At some point, be talking about Back to the. You'll be able to tell me what day we'll be talking about it. We like November 5th. No. Yeah, we get all the kind of stranger, more alternative types of music. You know, we get our Duran Duran, Cyndi Lauper, all of these artists movies. Definitely Jackson Thriller album released is that's pretty. The Thriller video I didn't realize that was the year that Prince. Strange reason. So, please, at the age of very. Yeah, that's all I had. I pulled all this from ID. Pretty interesting. I didn't realize how many from 19 too, I had a good musical, and I started. Maybe it wasn't like for me. Usually, I remember when I was a kid. That was sharing app program. I think it's an app. So maybe we can do a movie watch party. I told you I would keep you updated. I will be running the test as soon as possible, just to see if it works. Want to say one more happy birthday to Dustin Hoffman. This guy. Happy birthday, Dustin. Happy 89th birthday. Wow, 89. 89, Dustin. That's an Academy Award winning one for him. And he was the dad in the Fockers. I do like that movie. I'm so glad you're around, Dustin. I've been feeling under the weather, so I might make this a shorter stream. But I want to thank everybody who came in the chat. Yeah, I've been feeling under the weather. I hope I'll be able to show it to you from Wilkins. This poster is good. Yeah. Do all things. Like, subscribe. Oh, yeah, not so good. Under Saturday Movie House. I hope you had a good time. Bye.